Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is yet another installment of the Married Man Side Heffa Saga. So, let's go ahead and get into this foolishness. First things first, I only worked 2 days this week. That was yesterday and today, okay? I was very happy about it. I called out. Well, I was about to call out Friday, but they called me to confirm that I did want to be scheduled off for Friday, and I was like, yes. Now, this is the thing. When I came in on yesterday, what was supposed to happen on Friday is what they had in full effect for my department. And I was like, I'm confused. Why? As soon as I walk in the door, I see some foolishness on the schedule. And I'm like, what is this about and what for? So my partner rolled up on me. He said, good morning, Belinda. How you doing? Keep in mind, 95% of the time, he does not initiate a good morning or whatever because he's not really a morning person. So the fact that he even initiated a good morning and he actually sounded sincere when saying it, I was just like, oh, hey. But anyway, did you see this foolishness? Did you see this foolishness on the schedule? He was like, what? I was like, did you see this foolishness? Look at this foolishness right here. So he looking confused like me. And he was like, what? I was like, exactly, why? So I'm tired. Like, I'm so tired of my spirit. There are like random people that I've never seen before because they're new, or people who, they know of my existence, but it's a situation where we don't work directly together. So they're kind of shocked to see me reacting the way that I'm reacting. But I'm just like, baby, y'all don't understand how much disdain I have for this. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for this at all. So I'm already mad. I done walked in the door pretty much mad. So I go to put my keys up and then retrieve my items that I need in order to work. Child, that went awry. I should have known as soon as I saw the schedule looking the way it looked that it was going to be some foolishness for the rest of the day. And it really was. I'm over here dropping tampons like crazy. I done dropped my keys. I can't get my ID off my keychain to save my life because you need that on you at all times to access certain rooms and different parts of the building, get back in the building if you leave out. Like, I was just like, why? Sat up there, almost forgot my water bottle that I need to put ice and water in so I don't die. Like, it was just too much. So at this point, I was like, well, apparently I'm not going to make it to my pre-shift meeting. So that's out of the question. Oh, well. And I didn't think my supervisor was there anyway, so I ain't have to worry about hearing his mouth. So I was like, good, whatever. Well, something told me to go stop back by the schedule. So I went and looked. I said, let me see what it's talking about for Wednesday because they had it up there. Let me see what they're talking about for Wednesday and Thursday. So I look on the schedule. They got my name up there. Like, it's my regularly scheduled day. And I'm like, oh no, what we not finna do is this. Don't care how late I'm gonna be. Somebody gonna rectify this now. Like, I'm already tired. And, for future reference, TMI and all that good stuff, my menstrual cycle is on. So I'm already like, I already have no tolerance at this point. Like, I don't get attitudes and all the other stuff that people like to associate with a woman who is, going through it or whatever. I be in pain. Usually I'm in pain. I'm super duper hungry. Or I just feel blah. Usually it's one of those three things that I feel. I could be a little bit in my emotions a little bit, but not the way that other people try to make it seem that all women are just like that because their cycle is on. That ain't me. So anyway, this day, in that moment, I was feeling kind of, I don't know, like kind of blah. So I was like, okay, because it was already on before I got to work. It had already been on a day or two. So I had no idea that it was going to turn into the day that it did. My partner ended up being one of the people to go and do that most hated task. So I ain't have to do it because he already be knowing. uh I started to go from feeling blah to wishing that I had never even come to work, because all of a sudden I was in excruciating pain. Pain was going from the front of my body to my back. And then there were times that it was in both places at the same time. And I was just like, Lord, I don't have time for this. Like, I really could not function, y'all. I saw a meme the other day that said, when I'm at work, I'm working with 2% battery. When I'm at home and, pretty much trying to enjoy my life, the little bit of time I do have, I'm working 100% battery. I don't like that. Yesterday, I was working on 0. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my partner did 98% of my work for me. He didn't even know what was going on. Yeah, he did not even know what was going on. I don't know how I made it through the day. There was one point in time where I looked at the floor and wished that I could have just fell to my knees, got into the fetal position, and just laid there. Because for me, one of the things that helps me is to just not move at all. And I usually just curl up and not move. But I couldn't do that. But I did sprawl out a couple of times, even though I wasn't supposed to. But child, please, I wish somebody would have walked by and said anything to me in that moment. They might have, I don't know, anything could have happened. Because that's how bad I was feeling. Like, do not try me. I was feeling so miserable. Like, I think that's the worst that I've ever felt at work in my entire life. And I've been working since I was 18 or 19 years old. And I'll be 40 in a couple of years. So yeah. So the OG married dude, I saw him and it was just in passing, and there were moments where I was like, oh no, I don't even want him to even have a moment of by chance, happenstance, none of that to even pop off, for him to even be like, ooh, here go my opportunity. Nope. Let me go ahead and make sure you don't have that at all. So I went on ahead, and anytime I saw him, I ducked off somewhere, because I'm like, no, unless you gonna have to come up to my department and roll up on me while I'm in the middle of working to catch me. I'm tired. I don't want to talk to you. So I was able to duck and dodge him. The side heifer was working. They pretty much had her doing pretty much nothing yesterday and today. So he didn't really have an opportunity to try me. Y'all, the last 30 minutes of the day. So I went on my break. Tell me why, when I came back from my break, I had 30 minutes left. I hadn't even been up there 5 minutes, y'all. All of a sudden, I felt a release. And I was just like, oh God, no. Now, for those of y'all who don't understand what that means, without this explanation that's following, I'm trying to tell y'all that's why I hate when anybody try to make it seem like any women who have cycles and the stuff that we be going through on our cycles, it ain't nothing. That's why I always roll my eyes. That's why I always be like, yeah, you would never want. I would never, like, in all honesty, I would never wish what has happened to me on my worst days of having my cycle on to happen to my worst enemy. I'm just saying. That's saying a lot. It's really terrible. Literally, there was like a flood of blood that just released. And people often found it weird for me to be able to say I can feel, most of the time my period is coming on, and I can feel that something has dropped or whatever. Like, I really can feel stuff. Yeah, I felt when that happened. And I literally felt when it was filling up the tampon that I literally had just changed less than 10 minutes prior. And I'm just like, Lord, how am I going to get through this? Like, even though I had on a dark pair of pants, I was like, did my pants get messed up? And at this moment, I didn't know, because my clothes were like kind of wet in spots because I already was sweating and dying. And like, this was another thing. It was already hot in there. And then I was hot because of my period. which happens every other blue moon for me. Usually I'm freezing or I'm okay because I'm mellowed out because of my period coming on. Y'all, it was just too much. I was just like, I'm done. I'm tired. So the other married dude who got a new position in a couple of weeks or whatever, he's going to start training. He came in there. He greeted me and hugged me and asked me how was my Christmas. And then I asked him, how was his and did his son enjoy his gift. Soon as I said that, man, he was like, man, he went off. And I figured he would because of what it was that he bought his son. So, but yeah, we had a good old conversation. When people finally went on by their business, he did like he always do. And he was like, so what about me and you? And I'm like, ain't no what about me and you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, you already know what you got to do to even think you're going to be in the running for anything. Like, I don't understand why you want to have this conversation with me. Why you try to act like you don't know what it is. I don't understand. So anyway, like, he really be rolling up. Child, I had to tell him my period was on, and it really is. And I told him because whenever I tell him that my period is on, his reaction, be killing me. Because he had the audacity to be like, when I get off the day, you gonna let me come over your house? I was like, no. He was like, come on, let me come over your house. I was like, no. And on top of that, my period is on. So what I said, he left me alone. So anyway, that's all that really happened yesterday. And I did end up bleeding through my clothes. And luckily I have a lot of cushion for that pushing and things, and I got a lot of wagging I'm dragging, and that's the only thing that saved me from being seen on yesterday. And I ended up putting my coat down in my car just in case it didn't get messed up, and I was gonna wash my coat anyway, so I was like, oh, let me do that, whatever. So moving on to today. So today, it was a great day. The person who was paired up with me, he didn't show up. So I was by myself for the first hour of work. And then they put this woman over there. And I was like, child, she barely making it. She worked a mule out of me, y'all. Whoo, child. When I tell y'all, I know I lost at least 5 pounds today. At least 5 pounds. I was doing the absolute most today. I did all the work for her. Basically, everything that my partner did for me yesterday is what I did for her. And then some. I did the absolute most today. So yeah, I was tired. The married dude didn't come to work. He actually decided that he wasn't going to try to work and come in if anybody was available, and didn't want to come in because it's the holidays and all that stuff. He actually stayed at the house or found another side Heffa or something. And this is the one I'm talking about, who is the newest one, not the OG married dude. But the OG married dude was at work, and the side Heffa was at work. The side Heffa was off doing a special project. And for whatever reason, the OG married dude, every time I looked up, he walking through my department. He walking by. I'm like, you know where this Heffa at. She texts you all day. She's just as bad as the heifer who talking about, oh, I had to be on FaceTime with my man for 12 hours a day in order to make sure that nobody tries my man. I trust my man, but I don't trust the women. Child, apparently you don't know how crafty people can be, because he could be standing right in your face and have a whole heifer just going to town, tearing her throat down on your man. But who am I? I don't know what I'm talking about. I ain't nobody. So anyway, but yeah, he knew where the heifer was at. So I'm like, why are you walking through here? And then like, I'm over here thinking it's a supervisor or something. So I'm looking up, or I'm just trying to figure out, if it's somebody that I need to see, it's him walking by. And I'm like, I wish he would get somewhere. Go work. Go to your department. Go to your area. I don't understand why you're here. So anyway, he kept doing the most. So then when I went on my last break, he saw me. And so I ducked off like I did yesterday. So then I was like, oh, okay, good. Hopefully he gone. So I usually wait a couple of minutes before I leave out because these people drive like they lost their mind, and that's why all their cars wrecked out. I said what I said. So anyway, so I'm about to go clock out. Here he come. I said, man, I thought this fool was gone. So of course he gonna make his way and make sure he cross paths with me. He was like, hey, how you doing? I hope you have a good day. Drive safe and bundle up. Like he really was doing the most. And I'm like, why? I was like, okay. So when I saw him, I was like, okay, either he going back to work, some overtime, or he just tightening up some loose ends and the side heifer still here or something. Like I feel like the side heifer somewhere here. So I ain't think nothing of it no more. So I went, clocked out, and walked out the door. I'd be doggone. As soon as I hit the door, her truck's still here. I said, oh, okay. She waiting on him to come out. Oh, okay, whatever. Long as this heifer don't think I got nothing to do with why he taking so long to do whatever, and that he talking to me, because I don't want nothing to do with him. So then not long after that, he come out. As soon as I get in my car, he come out the building. I said, man, I ain't even gonna get him the opportunity to walk by. Let me hurry up, just get in this car and go. So that's what I did. Because I was just like, he be doing too much in his life, child. I ain't got time for it. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't too bad this week, y'all, because I ain't worked but 2 days. Whew. Yesterday was so rough, Lord. I'm trying to let my throat still recover, y'all, because apparently it's just some of my mama's side of the family. Like, they lose their voice, like, just because. You ain't got to be doing nothing. You can just lose it. Because I woke up one day and it was just gone. I ain't know what in the world was going on. I hadn't done nothing, hadn't been around nobody, wasn't sick. It was just gone. And it sounded a little bit better right now. But the other day, I thought it was all right. And that was the worst it sounded. And I was like, I ain't even been talking to nobody. I was like, what is going on here? But yeah, y'all. That's it. I think that's all that's been going on, because it wasn't nothing but 2 days. But I still had a good day today. Yesterday was rough. I'm just glad I had the coworker that I had, because he be coming through. Anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed this foolishness. I might be back later on. I was just trying to test the waters because of my throat. Y'all have a good one. Be safe out there. I don't know if y'all celebrate Kwanzaa, but happy Kwanzaa. Today is, I think, the 3rd day of Kwanzaa. So, yeah, I celebrate in my own way, because I don't feel like they have no celebrations around here, and if they do, it ain't worthy of me spending my time and energy going to it. But anyway, y'all have a good one. Be safe out there. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's talk about this foolishness down in the comment section.